Hey guys, today is April the 30th of 2021, and I wanted to go over Cameco CCJ using Gann price and time technical analysis. This video is pretty much a recap, and we wanted to see what worked, what didn't work, what new insights we have in this month, and take it from there. So let's get into the charts. As you can see, this is the monthly chart. This is the unbalanced volume. You can see that right here. This candle is showing undecided. There's another wants to go higher. There's another wants to go lower. It's pretty much smack in the middle. We had our trend lines, linear regression channel. You can see that we're at the higher register of the channel, still holding the midpoint, which is at 15. So it's still strong, still bullish. Everything looks pretty much intact and well. Going on the weekly, you can see that it's on the Elliott wave is actually 1, 2, 3, and 4 is projected anywhere between 1432 all the way to extreme 1303. We haven't gone there yet, so you can see that it's still bullish above the moving averages. You're kind of chopping around right now in the MOBO, so it's kind of undecided, which is reflecting the monthly candle. We could add some lines here. You can see that the linear regression channel is pointing up, but prices have kind of fallen off the channel. Doesn't mean anything. It's just kind of losing speed and momentum. But other than that, it's still just going sideways, pretty much. Just chopping around back and forth, going sideways. We know that May 7th is earnings report. So we'll see how that's going to play out. Let's go into the daily. And the daily is interesting. The daily, you got the parabolic signals all bearish. These dots right here. And you can see that linear regression channel is pointing lower now. So on the daily time frame, it's just more chop sideways. It's not making a higher high. It's not making a lower low. It's just kind of going sideways, but resistance. This is the ellipse. And you can see that right here. We had an explosion, but it was the next day. The next day to keep an eye on in regards to the ellipse technique is May 4th. It could be either explosion to the upside, downside, or it may not do anything. This is a support level I have right here, the 100. You can see that the 50 and the 20 now are kind of just smack in the middle, indicating that there's just a lot of choppiness. It's not going higher or lower. Targets, I know you guys probably seen this in my other videos. But the main target I have for the upside is going to be that 3065 or 2865, somewhere around there in that window. That's the center of gravity midpoint. So long term, that's where I expect, Cameco in the future to at least get there. That's my projected target. Anything else on the daily? Nothing else. Let's see. MACD. Turning positive now, unbalanced volume, just kind of going sideways. That's pretty much it. I don't think anything else is. Stokes are pointing higher. So, we may trend higher. To May 7th, there's a lot of stuff I wanted to show you, but this is just one part of it. Let's go into this chart first. I'm going to leave the cycles for last. Dewey cycles. We'll start here. You remember when it was always showing that the Dewey cycles, the indicator was always shifting, and it was kind of throwing me off. Look, now they're locked in. Maybe it has something to do with the high and not making a new high. I don't know, but either way, it locked in. It hasn't shifted, and the cycles pointed lower here. You can see that we made a low here, so it was a little off. It looks like it picked up from here. It's interesting. I got to explain this one day. These little nuances I notice on the market. But other than that, the averages on the Dewey cycles are pointing higher all the way to May 17th. Remember that date. 17, 18, 19. So 17 is a Monday, Tuesday, 18, and 19 is a Wednesday. Remember that. Because someone asked me, what is clusters? And I want to show you an example of what I see as clusters. So a Dewey cycle is saying it's kind of getting toppy here. And it's just a probability. It's not going to say that's going to actually happen, but I want to show you the reason why I call some things cluster. You can see that the Gann swings are pointing up. This one was bullish, and then it turned bearish here, and this is a third day Gann swing. Now it's pointing higher. So they're in sync. Dewey cycle's in sync. May 7th is reporting, so a lot of stuff is going to be cooking up in May. Let's go into the next chart. I'll leave that one for last. The Gann speed lines. This is the half. This is the 1/4. And this is the, I believe, is the 3/4. Right now we're below the half speed. Found support at the 200. Still intact. Still bullish. This is, I look at this as the, circles within circle. Have you ever heard of that from Gann's theory? So this is kind of like a fractal, and then this right here is another fractal, but within the big fractal, the big picture. So this is the main one starting from March 18th. You pivot to the July 20th, and then the November 4th, and then this is the new a fractal. So the Gann speed, I normally pick it up from the main one that builds up. If we go into the next one, which is the Fibonacci, this is the fractal from the November 4th. I kind of see what's going on in here too. And I also like to see what the Fibo traders look at. So this is what they're looking at level-wise. So I kind of split the workload between the Fibo and the Gann speed. So I can see the big picture of where we at in momentum with the with Cameco in the Gann speed, and then go fractal and look at, from this point on, from November 4th, the last swing low we made, and see what's going on. As you can see right here, we almost, fell off the cliff, but we're holding off here at the 38.2 extension. The 200s right here. So we're kind of going back and forth. If you can see that we've lost a little speed because now we're going just sideways, but as long as we can hold this this angle right here, this trend line, I think we should be doing good. Gann fans, you can see that the last kiss we did was on April 5th, and then we just kind of pushed lower. We didn't get to kiss the 1/3, 1/3. And now it's just kind of chopping around here. Worst case scenario, if the June, July seasonalities kick in and we sell off, this could be a good buying opportunity, the 1/3, and most definitely the 1/4. So if we get bearish, this is where I'm going to be looking to accumulate a little more. If it ever gets down here. If it doesn't, that's fine. But if it ever gets down here, I'm going to, build up even more my position on that. But so far, just kind of no man's land in the middle using the Gann fan. Oh, and by the way, the scaling I use on the Gann fan on this chart is the 0.10, 0.10. That's what I use on the scaling on this one. This one is interesting because I remember the last video I didn't have anything going on, and now things just kind of popped up. So this is a bullish Gartley found pattern. It was from here, A, B, C right here. And it was showing that it could be a possible swing low. It was off by 1 day. It was saying it was here on the 19th, and on the 20th, it popped up. You could give you a candle right there, doji, and we became bullish. So that was one pattern, the Gartley pattern that it found. And then this one right here is the ABCD pattern. So this was projecting if prices are going to continue going higher, we could go as high as 23.14. Now this one's giving you the price and time using the geometric in regards to the pattern. So it's saying and the way I use this is that we could, potentially do exactly what this forecast is saying, that we could go and hit 23, or we could hit it earlier, or we could hit it later, but the level is 23, and time-wise is locking it into May 19th. Remember I told you about May 17, 18, and 19? So the Dewey cycle was telling us, it's topping out on May 17. using geometry, and this is totally separate from the Dewey cycles. This is just fractal. It's indicating something as a top for May, May 19th. So that's what I call as an example, a cluster. And then if you look at other things and things are kind of building up here and it's showing you more evidence. Gann said that when you have a lot of things all lining up and building up, the probabilities of that, playing out in real life, in real time, is greater. So this is something you want to keep an eye on around that time frame, May 17, 18, and 19. Because you've seen my videos before. It went up and hit the price level, but didn't do it in time, and then just kind of, I think maybe it was around here, maybe this one here or here, I can't remember. But if you look at my past videos, there was one where it hit it already. Maybe it was in 1971. It hit it, but the date was a little off, or the pattern, the way I play it out, timing wise, was a little off. So we'll see how this one plays out if it ever gets up there. So I wanted to show you that. The Pitchfork, you see that we were chopping around here around the 25, and held as support. This is the midpoint, the 50. We just got to see if we could just break through right here and then push higher. That remains also to be seen. Let's see. But bullish, it's still intact, it's still holding, so it's good. Reaction lines, action and reaction lines. As you can see, this is where the battle zone is, right here. And we held right here, and we're just chopping around here. And these are just lines that the action reaction puts on the chart. We had resistance here. So this is the zone that we're having. As long as we could hold, and be in this channel, continue going up, it could be good, and a lot of things could play out of what I've been showing you. And then this is the square of 9 that I use. Let's go a little closer over here. So we know that over here was the 1971 high, and I think the last high we did was 1855, was somewhere around here. We're kind of hovering around the 1701, 1704, so we're somewhere around here. So we push lower, the 1630 could be a target, the 1680. We push higher, the 1730. We got to push above to 1799, and then maybe take out that 1855. Obviously 1971, and then the pattern that I showed you earlier with the ABCD was that 2314, which is somewhere around right here, if we ever get up there. So that's where we'll probably be close to the 45 degree. But we had resistance at the 45 right here, and we're kind of chopping around right now around the 225 degree with regards to the square 9. So this is the level we in right here, right now. I don't know what real time is, where we at right now, but the last thing I saw was 1704, where we close Thursday. So that's where we at right now. And I think that's it for this chart. Yeah, and then that's the Dewey cycle. So lastly, we'll go into the master chart. One thing I wanted to show you, I haven't forgotten about using the Fourier indicator, but I wanted to show you how powerful it was putting it in on the Cameco. So I did a pivot from right here to right here, and this is the projection line that the Fourier gave us, and you can see that it nailed every swing to the T. Amazing. Using it at the harmonics of I think it was 3. I always use either 3, 6, 9. I got that from Tesla. But anyway, as you can see, look how bad that indicator was working, projecting waves from the past. It just nailed this move. And what it's forecasting is somewhere around 14, 15, 16. No, it's dipping there. But somewhere around the 12, 13, 15, it's topping. And then it goes down to 7, 2. So I'm going to keep that one on the master chart and just to see how it plays out. But so far, that's probably been the best one I've seen. So the last video I did, I did the video on the 31st of March, and I wanted to see how April played out with the cycles and everything. So this is the annual cycle. As you can see, it was topping out here. It came a little earlier, so that one kind of played out. It bottomed out here early, but we really bottomed out here, and now it's projecting a high all the way to the 7th. The 7th is an earnings report, so it will be interesting to see what happens. Maybe every time they report it, it wasn't good. You know, whatever the number, whatever it was that they said, whatever happened, and it just turned bearish. So is that going to play out again? I don't know. We'll see. Maybe things are different. Maybe this is going to be broken, this curse or whatever it is, whatever you want to call it. And maybe we'll just like skyrocket. I don't know. But I'm just showing you what the past has happened. That way you kind of have an idea. If whatever direction it goes, you're not surprised. Especially if it goes down, you're not surprised. If it goes up, then things are definitely, changing from the past. This one right here is my esoteric cycle. This one right here kind of worked out. It topped out a little early, but it was showing the direction that it was going to go up. Right here from here, it was going to go up. And then it was going to bottom out here all the way to the 27th. It bottomed up a little earlier. And it's projecting higher to the 17th. So remember that? The cluster? This is what I call a cluster. The Dewey cycle said there was something going on up here. The geometry one that I used, it was saying somewhere around 23. And the timing was going to be 17, 18, 19. And my esoteric cycle is saying, it could be turning around here also. So that's that's a perfect example of clusters. And then the more you start doing a lot of Gann technique, you start noticing that you're like, wow, man, there's something really big around here. And that's what I call a cluster week or cluster days. A lot of things are kind of lining up here that have nothing to do with each other. And that's where you want to kind of narrow in and then watch price action, watch volume. If volume picks up and it starts pushing down bad and strong, then this is just telling you, yeah, whatever you were looking at that was all piling up right here was indicating that something was building up, and the explosion reflected on the price either going, down with big volume or, or up, whatever direction is going to go. It's all accumulating from right here. That's my esoteric, my spectrum analysis, the composite of that cycle. You can see that it was kind of inverted in April. Well, prices went up and it came down, and now it's kind of like in sync. And now it kind of tops here on the 7th, and then it projects lower there. So that remains to be seen. RSI not in the overbought zone, so it's kind of neutral above the 50% level. It's kind of flat. So that's the spectrum analysis on that, and that's the model. Neural net. This is the computer machine learning. So let's see what happened here. So it picked up this bottom here really well, and it failed here on the top. And it says that there's a bottom here, which is inverted to this. So that remains to be seen. You got the 7th right here. Then it pushes lower, and then it says a top all the way on June. So let's see how that plays out. But so far, it was I guess a hit or miss. If you wanted to play that and then scalp out, that kind of worked out right here. But then it kept going up, and then this pushed lower, so it was off. It was off right here. All this was off. Unless you want to look at this as an invert, but I won't even go there. I'll just leave it like that. And let's use our Bradley model harmonics. There's something lining up here on the 11th. And this one kind of picked the tops. It was kind of like an inverted in a weird way. And I think that's it on that. Looking at our weekly, let's look at the big picture. Monthly, so far the monthly is bullish as of right now. This is the last month close, was 1702. Last I saw, yesterday's close was 1704. I don't know where it's at in real time, so that remains to be seen. And looking at our weekly, you can see there's left from last week and this week, we've been bullish. Put it all together, so far everything is looking bullish going into earnings. And the last thing I showed you was the Fourier. That was positive correlation, so maybe we could continue going higher. That looks bullish. And then lastly, natural cycles. As you can see, this is the annual and decimal together. And this is the mid, the green, and the red one is fast annual. They're all, and the blue one is annual. They're all topping out. One topped out early. These two here, you can see in the past, let's see what happened in the past. They were all pointing up. And then prices continue pushing lower while they were all pointing up. So they were a little off, but it was just a correction. And now the climax is all right here. The mid, the fast, the annual decimal, they're all topping out on the some earlier, but mostly around this earnings report. The annual and the decimal top out really actually is over here. Remember the 17, 18? So this is kind of close to the cluster I was showing you earlier, and then they all sell off. Then this one is the quantitative analysis. This one is indicating that from all the data that I have, 84% of percentage of the time prices from here to here are bearish. And all the seasonalities and cycle point that here. So that's something to keep in the back of your mind. Whatever report, whatever the numbers are, you got to be very, very cautious here on this report. I think that's it. I covered everything else. If you have any questions on or what, let's talk about this. I forgot. This is a cycle that I use in another software. And this one is the 179. So the 179 is the dominant cycle right now on Cameco. And they've added a new feature that you could break it into harmonics related to the 179. So there's three related to the 179. There's the harmonic of 56, the harmonic of 63, and I think the other one is maybe 93. But I didn't include the 93 just because I wanted to show you something. When I include the 93, the harmonic, it kind of gives you like a flat hump here, and then it pushes lower. When I take out the harmonic of 93, it gives me like a little hump. And one of the reasons why I wanted to show you this hump is because that hump has to do with May 17th and 18th. So I'm not saying that prices are going to go down and that we're going to have this, little retracement and then we go down. I'm just showing you that those are the little nuances, things that I pick up in regards to the cycles and just trying to see what other correlations I could see. So this is the third one. It's a minor. It's not big. It's not something like this, but it is something to see. And as you can see how prices are reacting, it's just kind of going sideways while the cycles are lower, projecting lower now. So that's why it'd be interesting to see how it all plays out. But there is a hump right here, and there's a little turning point on that. And lastly, the square of 9 third dimension. I know there's a lot of stuff from going on. Let's see what worked and what didn't work. The only thing I can see, this was the 20th right here, and we were off here. The 21st was projected low with the vibration here. I don't know about the 15 or the... then we already out of the calendar of April. The 12th, I think this was the 12th right here, or maybe it was this one. It kind of went sideways, so that really didn't, held up. Pretty much the one that was that worked the best maybe was the one closest to the 21st, but it was off by 1 day. Yeah, I think that's it. I gotta readjust this and calculate it for the next cycle, and then we can look at other important dates into the future. Well, I'm going to sign out. Hopefully this helped you. This is just a recap, see where we're at, maybe some new things that came up. But key date to watch is earnings report, and the markets, hopefully they don't sell off, because if they do sell off, then, it could affect a lot of things if we have a massive sell-off. I'm going to sign out, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your predictions on Cameco, where you think we're at, where we're going, your price targets, and we'll take it from there. Hopefully you like this video, and I'll keep you posted on my thoughts on Cameco using Gann price and time technical analysis.